Hey guys, this is Randy Unger with Unger the Radar, also co-host of Nostalgia Time with Kid Champagne, and I have Kid Champagne right here on the phone.
Hi Randy, happy to be here, and Kid Champagne Matthew Haberman.
And it's a very special episode. It's actually a collaboration between both shows, and yesterday we actually did a wonderful show celebrating the late great comedian actor Jim Varney, who you probably know as Ernest P. Worrell. And we have with us today an actress from Ernest Goes to Jail. It's Barbara Tyson. Hey, Barbara, how are you?
I'm well, Matt. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I'm curious, what was your audition process like for Ernest Goes to Jail?
Wow. Okay, so I do remember it, even though it was in 1989.
Right.
And it was I was living in Los Angeles and read the script, and they had asked me to audition. I was doing a lot of comedy at the time. I had just moved to LA from New York and was doing sitcoms, so I guess I got my name that way. And I brought an outfit to my wonderful friend Meg. She had a perfect Disney-type wardrobe, and having moved from New York, I didn't have that yet. So I borrowed her clothes and went and auditioned, and before I knew it, I was on a plane to Nashville, Tennessee.
Interesting. Okay. It's quite an odyssey. I love it. Matt, next question.
For my question is, in regards with Ernest Goes to Jail, how was it like working with Jim Varney?
Well, Jim was an amazing person. We were friends for years afterward, and he was gracious and sweet and funny and a wonderful storyteller and a wonderful humor. He was absolutely nothing like his character, Ernest Worrell. He was so much more.
Oh, man. That's so great. Do you have any fond memories on set?
What do you think? Gee, it was always a really good energy. And it was, I don't know, I remember the costumes being very cartoony, sort of bigger than life. I think the policemen were dressed in pink, that sort of thing, some kind of light color. Jim was always on. He was always on. He was in character. He delivered every single take. He was such a pro.
That's great. Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
So what was your favorite moments working on Ernest Goes to Jail?
My favorite moments working on, just the energy of the crew and the cast. Jim was at the helm of that. So, and Buster, the director, had worked with Jim many times before. So it was a nice flattery. It was really well. It was like Jim's storytelling. He was always telling stories, and he was just a fun guy. He had a DeLorean. I remember that. He drove a DeLorean.
Huh.
And I don't know if those cars, from the Back to the Future with the wing doors come up. And he had one.
Yeah.
And it was, I just chuckle when I think of that.
Wait, are you saying Jim Varney drove a DeLorean?
I am saying that Jim Varney drove a DeLorean.
That is something awesome, because we are both huge Back to the Future fans, and just knowing that is just awesome.
Yeah, very awesome.
Isn't that funny? And I do remember, and I could get this to be all through, but he had a bumper sticker on the DeLorean. And it said something to the effect of, yes, it's me, it's Ernest. On the back of the DeLorean. He's a very, very funny guy.
That is such a, wow, I'm really amazed by that trivia. That is very, very cool. So I'm curious. So it sounds like it was a really great, mood on the set. What were some of the challenges you guys faced?
I remember, you have to forgive me, I have not seen the film since it came out. And
Okay.
I did see it on the big screen in Los Angeles at the Dome Theater in Hollywood, and it was so much fun to see. But I honestly haven't, my sons haven't even seen the movie. And so I really have to kind of stretch my memory to recall. I remember there was a scene in the bank, and there was some kind of floor polisher which took Jim all over the place, and it was rigged up, and there were wheels, and there was soap, and flying. It was very technically kind of crazy around the day. So that was kind of fun. And then that was really fun.
Okay. Yeah, that whole sequence in the bank with him basically flying on the ceiling with the vacuum and all that. I'm curious though. So Ernest, Jim Varney, he played two characters. We all know him as Ernest P. Worrell, but he also plays the more sinister, the inmate who basically steals his identity. What was it like working with both of those characters, but played by the same guy?
Well, I just had so much fun watching Jim have so much fun with that, because he played the sinister character, Nash. And, so he sort of, in a lower voice register, and he had this crazy, lion's den of an apartment with lots of zebra and leopards in it, and complete polar opposite of the Ernest character, who is, the child. And there was like a dog. I remember there was a dog. And it was really funny because the Nash character, the dog, it was a little Jack Russell, and really well trained. And I remember the Nash character, the Jack Russell in a garbage can. And when Ernest found it, he was like, "Hey, Dad, I picked a good dog." And it was fun. It was just fun to see him really, really just enjoy those characters so much. Because it wasn't just the Ernest character. He was a legitimate actor.
Yeah.
A really good one. He was a good actor. Because, it's hard to see that so much with the character that he became famous for. And he became famous for Ernest because he was capable of a broad range of characters. And it gave him a little bit of wiggle room.
Yeah. For my next question, I know this is actually post Ernest, but I remember you in another film. It's actually Final Destination. You played Barbara Tyson. You played.
I played Barbara Browning.
Barbara Browning. My apologies. How was that experience? How was that experience working on Final Destination? That's also one of my favorite films.
Well, that was the first in that series of films. It did very well, and it was the first. I think I don't know how many sequels they made of that. But Devin Falwell was the lead, and I played his mom. And we were laughing because I think I was 16 years older than him or something like that. But I mean, that's LA. They shot that in Vancouver, Canada, but it was a Los Angeles production. And it was a really nice experience. And it was a big budget. So it's nice to look at a big budget film. You feel it. It's happy. It was the audition for that was interesting because there was the opening scene where Devin was packing to go on this international trip, and there was something like, no, the tags on my suitcase, you shouldn't leave them on, or shouldn't take them off. I think you shouldn't take them off. And I did. When we auditioned for that, the casting director I just put a whole bunch of pillows in the casting room to be the luggage, and I remember saying, like, I feel like I'm making a bed. And then everybody laughed, and I got the part. So it was really nice of them to give it to me. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome. Barb, you have a great career, a very extensive list of credits. You've done film and TV. I'm curious, do you prefer one medium over the other, or are they pretty much the same to you?
You know what? They're different, and I have opinions about this. I mean, I don't have a preference because I just love and I love somebody gives me a part a good one. It's just such an honor. But television has a worse rap than film, and it shouldn't, because the people who do TV, the schedule is brutal, and
right.
You churn out these 1-hour TV shows in 7 days, and hopefully it's decent. Whereas in film, you have months to get it right, and especially now in the digital age, it's not like, oh my God, don't take too many takes because film costs so much per foot.
Right.
It's much more luxurious with this feature than it is television. So my hat comes off to anybody who does TV on a series, because it's hard work, and you're constantly memorizing for your next day and your next episode, and it's a different director and different cast each episode of TV. Whereas film, you basically you have some time to develop the character.
Right. And going back a little, actually the same year, 1989, you were actually in one episode of my all-time favorite sitcoms, Charles in Charge. And I'm curious, do you remember that experience? What was that like?
Oh, very well. It was really, really funny. Because that was I had moved from New York, and as I said, everything I owned was black. And I moved to New York in January, and it was sunny and beautiful, and I'm like, oh my God, I can get used to this. And within a week, I had this job on the sitcom. I'm like, wow, LA is really easy and so much fun. So we shot this, and sitcoms are fun because you literally have 5 days. So the first day you're on the lot, basically meet everybody. You get your script, you do a read through. Second day you're doing your read through, on set in the rooms, that the living room and the bedrooms or whatever the set is, kitchen. And then the third day, the next day, all the network staff comes in. So they all watch you what you've done Monday and Tuesday. And then they're all taking notes. If they think the joke doesn't work, you get your notes on Thursday. Mm-hmm. So Thursday, if the change, blah, 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 do all changes. And then Thursday, by the end of that day, you are off and ready to go. And then Friday is like you shoot it in front of a live audience. Mm-hmm. Like, so you can't leave the lot. This one is, I think, the best job. Mm-hmm. It was fun. And I enjoyed working with Billy Ames, who, by the way, lives in Vancouver and ended up marrying a Vancouver girl. And stopped by her. I've never kept in touch with him, so I don't know what he's like.
All right. So I want to go back to, with an Ernest question, actually, for if Jim Varney was alive, what would you think he'd be doing now?
Oh, making people laugh.
Oh.
He was a wonderful writer as well. He was a wonderful singer. He could play guitar and sing. He wrote music. He probably would have done a character that was completely far away from the Ernest character. Only because he trusted it, not because he didn't like it. He loved it. But he probably would have wanted to play a serious role.
And I'm not sure if this was addressed earlier. I don't think I heard, but would you show the Ernest films to your kids or recommend them?
I would certainly recommend them. I've got 3 boys. We're a blended family. My youngest is 15, and the other 2 are 16 and 18. And I have Ernest. I have a copy of it somewhere on DVD, and if they want to see it, I'd be delighted because they'd probably laugh at me because the red hair and I don't know. I was 1989 and very dated. I would be proud to show it to them. It was a fun experience, and again, it was an honor. It was a pleasure working with Jim.
Great. Have you seen the other Ernest movies after Goes to Jail? Or
no, I haven't seen them, but I saw Jim because he was in Vancouver actually shooting. I think Ernest Goes and another one in Vancouver, and we hung out. So he was here. We got together a couple of times when he was in town. So just catching up, going to dinner and reminiscing, and yeah.
That's great. So, yeah.
I just want. Do you have any future projects on the horizon?
Well, it's been such a weird year for everybody. And as a working actor, you're constantly auditioning. So, I've come close to a few things, and I'm just, waiting until that right role comes along, and I would be so happy to get back to work. I've been doing MOWs and that sort of thing, but then this past year it's been basically close to home,
Mm-hmm. And of your extensive career, do you have what's a highlight for you? Wow. I mean, they're so different. For sitcoms, I think Murphy Brown was a wonderful experience. Murphy Brown was fun. It was such a professional environment, and the writing was just amazing. Diane English was amazing. The writer. I mean, no one is the writers, really. Series work is great because if you're a series lead, you develop such strong bonds. It's like a family. You really do love the crew and love your castmates, and just it's amazing. Doing series work. That's great. That's really nice to hear. Now, so I think the last question would be, how do you feel about being part of the Ernest cinematic universe? That way. Absolute honor. And again, it's all Jim. It's because of Jim, and he made it incredible. I didn't know what to expect when I was on the plane flying to Nashville. I'd never been to Nashville before. I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? And he just took under his wing and showed me Nashville, and he was wonderful. And his wife Jane was very nice, and they had me to their home. And I mean, it was just a thing of people, and warm and open and inviting, and it was a great experience. Great. Matt, any other questions?
Actually, I'm out.
All right. Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure. A great pleasure speaking to you, and you're making me. My cheeks are hurting because I'm smiling a bit. Oh. Well, we're happy that we've had that effect on you. That's very nice. All right, Barbara.
I've learned so much with.
Would be pleased. He would be tickled. He really would. He'd love this. Great. And we hope we've honored him as well. We hope his memory, and I hope future generations, children today need to see Ernest movies and his shows. And he was great. He was a real treasure. So yeah. He was. He really was. He really was.